Hello and welcome to another stream. My name is Ray and it is Learning Korean with Ray, day 175. Yeah, welcome to the viewers. We have started the grammar lesson on lesson 17 and we'll continue with that. I think we are like 1/3 of the way through, so maybe 2 more days. But before we continue with that, of course, we do a little review, but we only have a single word for today. Let's see. To be rare. Is it? Something with M, I think. Like M. No, I don't remember this one. Okay. To. I have to say I don't. Here's the M that I was talking about. Maybe is it 드물다?
드물다.
Yeah, okay. Wasn't super sure about that, but yeah, I got it on the first selection of options at least. If I can have that for the hardest words that I don't remember, then I guess it's fine. Okay. Yeah, we did a lot of reviewing yesterday, so I will not do another review session. We'll just jump into the grammar lesson immediately. So here we go. 17 to 25, 17, and we did learn about the particle ko, to connect sentences. Okay, so we learned about adding ko to the stem of the first adjective or verb, and then have like a second sentence for, yeah, have a second sentence with a conjugation in the end. Yeah, we learned about if it's really after something, then you add even naso to it, go naso. And then we have another thing which is very important. Yeah, the two cases where the first adjective or verb is conjugated. When one action happens after another action, but a considerable amount of time has passed. I studied hard and then became a doctor. I studied English grammar hard and then did well on the test. So if it's not like right after each other, but like a different time. But definitely that's the second part is like a follow-up of the first part. Okay. But in the far future from the first part. Okay, and then the second one was that both actions happened in the past tense with no indication whether one action happens after another. This is pretty much the longest sentence I've ever seen in Korean. It's a crazy long sentence. Wow, I didn't even realize it yesterday. Wow. During vacation, I studied a lot of English grammar and also read a lot of English newspapers. Okay. Where do we have vacation? Vacation was... what was vacation again? There's a go. Here we have the Dungan. Ah, here, Banghak. Okay. So here during vacation. English. Grammar, a lot of studying, and English newspaper, also a lot of reading. Okay, so yeah, that's what we learned yesterday. And now there's a little, like, it seems like there's a little break in the like flow in the topic here, because we are learning about the particles for the subject usually, nin, in, and iga, that we learned in lesson 2, and then we will continue. We will probably get some transition back into the go topic. So yeah, let's continue with that here. This is where we stopped yesterday. Okay, I continue to discuss the difference in purpose between these later in the lesson. Okay, before that I would like to introduce you to the unit of nin or in, because it is commonly used in sentences with go. Okay, in lesson 2 I mentioned that nin or in has a comparative function. One way it is often used, is to say this thing is one way, this thing is another way. Oh, really? That mountain is high, that mountain is low. Here we have a nin, and here we also have a nin. Grammar is difficult, words are easy. So here we have all those, I will say, normal subject particles. In this situation it is common to use go to connect two sentences as they are expressing a similar idea. In these cases, nin and in is attached to both things that are being compared. Okay, wait, where's the difference between... okay, here we have the sentences completely separated, and here we have them combined with go. High, this mountain high, or is high, and that mountain is low. Not sure when I learned the word low, but I can't recall it right now. But interesting. Wasn't that like daytime? I'm pretty sure that was daytime as a noun. Hello China White, and hello Kaya, welcome to the stream. Okay, and he continues to talk about that later in the lesson, in this lesson. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I didn't really see the big point of this section, but I mean it's the same that we learned before. We use nin or in as subject particles in this case when comparing, but for me, my previous knowledge is I always use it, except that I use I and ga in some special cases. So this whole section tells me, okay, comparisons are not one of those special cases. That's the only takeaway I have from this section. Because I usually, if I'm not sure, I use this anyways. Okay. It would be more beneficial to learn about the special cases where you use I and ga, in my opinion, and not learn about the cases where you use nin and in, because you use it anyways all the time. Okay, or at least I do. Using I or O so. Another way to indicate that one action happens after another action is to attach a or o so. to the verb in the first clause. Okay. The verb before a or also is never conjugated to the past tense. Okay. I cut carrots with a knife and then put them into the fridge. Chonin, tangen, tangenil, kalo. Okay, with a knife, yeah. Okay, kalo. Jalayo. Did I learn this? Jalayo to cut? Let me... No, it's not in the vocabulary here. It's not in here. Is it in the previous one? I really can't remember this. No? Maybe 15? Okay, no is also not here. Yeah, so I'm a bit confused here. That... Wait, what's this? Ah, okay, this is just a future form for... Then did well on the tests. Jal? Wait, what is this? Xiomel? What is this Jal here? So he's talking about this one is to take a test, but then they put a random Jal there. Did well on the test. Oh, so it's well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did not learn that so far. But I remember it from this well done that you sometimes put in the chat. Yeah. But in this case, it's actually to cut. Jareda. Okay. I feel like I've not learned that, really. And I mean, I just looked through the last 3 lessons and it's not there. So I really think I have not learned that yet. So a bit weird. But okay, let's continue. So this one is not conjugated, but it is an irregular. So it's still not jare. It's not jareda, jare aso or jare also. It is still like the irregular applies anyways because we are adding a vowel here. But it's still not conjugated to the past tense. Okay, not conjugated to the past tense, but it's like the irregular applies anyways. Okay. And yeah, I guess honorific forms can't apply because you are adding this to the stem. So there's you can't add a yo somewhere there. Rasoyo. No. Okay, that's not possible. You only add this one. Okay. So I cut carrots with a knife and then put them in the fridge. Nenjango, nenjangoe, no hosoyo. No hosoyo. Okay. Then what's the difference between using go and a or also? For example, we'll remove this. I cut the carrots with a knife and put them away. Okay, this is the 2 differences. Here we have jare go. In this case, the irregular, the re irregular does not apply because we are not adding a vowel to the stem. We're adding go, but in this case, we're adding the vowel a to the stem. So in this case, it applies. So it looks a bit different here. but still the same thing, just with different particles. Both are effectively saying the same thing. However, and from my experience, are or also is more likely to be used when an action is when the action of the first clause is intrinsically linked with the action of the second clause. Okay. Best way to explain this is to look at why specifically are or also is more commonly used with the verbs kada and oda instead of go. If you want to say you go somewhere and do something, you should not say this. I go to school and learn. I will go to school and will learn. So I will go to school and learn. Or study. I will go to school and study. Instead of go, you must add a or also here. I will go to the school. Also is added and merged to ka. Or yeah, ka. And then you have the same. Okay. Likewise, if you want to say that you come somewhere and do something, you should not say this. We came home. We come home. Oh yeah, came home because it's not conjugate to the past, but this one indicates it's still past anyways. So we came home and immediately slept. Well, immediately went to sleep, I guess you would say in English. We came home and immediately went to sleep. Ah yeah, here. That is. The reason for this is simply due to the nature of the words oda and kada. When connecting two clauses with go containing other verbs, for example mokta, the first and second action, despite the fact that one happened after another one, have no real connection. Annyeong, Flo. What is your Korean name again? Puro? Puro? Pillow. Okay. Okay, so that's what your teacher told you, right? So you add the R anyways to the first syllable just to make it an L. Yeah, okay. Philo. Yeah, I guess then it's fine. Okay, but I've definitely seen other cases where that is not the case, where you don't put the R in the first syllable, so then it's really, you know, it's an L in English, or in, like, in the name itself, but in Korean it's still an R, because you just add that one letter and it's pronounced as an R. Okay. I will eat and then go. Okay, so they have no connection. Like, to eat and to go doesn't follow a similar idea. That was the main focus of the first chapter. Like, you use go to connect sentences with which follow the same idea. In this case, eating and going, they do not follow the same idea. So let's see. Okay, this is exactly the opposite. When connecting two clauses with go, have no real connection. Okay. The act of eating didn't affect the act of going, exactly. However, with gada and oda, the fact you're coming and going is directly connected to the next action. Yep. But wait, I want to see this again. It's a bit weird. I go back. To indicate one action occurs and then something happens after that. Okay. Okay, so the thing with the idea was in those two examples that here that in that you conjugate. So if it's the same idea, you conjugate the first sentence as well. This is the first verb or adjective. That both happen in the past tense. Okay, so I misremembered the similar idea thing. Okay. Okay, so we'll now learn are and also is actually used when the two actions are really connected and affect each other. Okay. You will eat, finish eating, and then go somewhere. Aside from the fact that one happened after another, the act of eating doesn't affect the act of going. However, with kada, your coming and going is directly connected. Okay, yeah, I read that already. I drew a picture to express the image that I have in my brain about this explanation. Okay, I see. So here, to go, kada, this leads to the eating. This action leads to this action. But here, it's just one action. It's fully like closed. It's how do you say that? Yeah, I don't know. It's closed, and then another action happens. But this one is completely separated from that one. Okay. When you use kaso, mokda, the verb of going leads to the act of eating. However, when you use mokda gada, mokgo and kada, the act of the verb of eating happened before the verb of going. They are unrelated to each other. Yes. In this same sense, it is possible to attach are or also to verbs other than gada and oda to connect two clauses. Below are some examples that show this being done. We chose delicious meat and then ate together. Okay, yeah, they're connected. I opened the door and then went outside. Okay, yeah. Not sure when you would actually say this part. I mean, if you go outside, it's obvious you have to open the door. So I would say this second example is pretty rare like this, because you will just not say this at all, I think. But yeah, I understand the concept. While it is very important to know how to use go and how to use a or also with gada oda at this point, wow, I have to read with more better pronunciation, better flow. While it is very important to know how to use go and how to use oda with kada or oda at this point, being able to fully understand the nuance of adding a or also to other words is beyond your current ability. Better flow. The usage of a or also is much more complex, and I will continue to discuss its usage in lesson 70. Wow. Also note that the sentence connector a or also has another meaning that will be discussed in lesson 37. Okay. It is possible to connect ko to kada and oda, but only in situations where the speaker is connecting sentences that have a similar idea, and not where one goes and comes to a place and does something. Okay. For example, I was in my office today and one of my co-workers was telling a current student about all the former students who came to visit him the day earlier. It was Teacher's Day. What is Teacher's Day? Okay, this... Well, what came? Came? Ah, okay, those are names probably. What? At first I was like, why are there 4 different new words for the past tense of Oda? Okay. Hewon. Hewon do Oda? Ogo. Hewon do Ogo. Silgi do Ogo. Came. Okay, yeah. So in this case, yeah, that the one person came and the other person came, they don't affect each other. If the first person didn't come, that doesn't affect the second person coming. So I can totally understand this example, that here you would use go and not are also, because they are not really connected. But I don't understand why he's using this example as an example sentence for this, because here he's saying so you only wait a second. Ah, okay, I read it wrong. Okay, all good. Okay. I was saying, well, like, whoa, what is going on? Flo did a huge sentence, but it looks like you copy pasted the Teacher's Day Wikipedia entry. Love cards. Yeah, I don't think in the Western world teachers have such a high standing among students. Usually students just hate their teachers. The teacher is always the excuse for the bad grades. Okay. So to rephrase this sentence, in a situation where one goes or comes to a place and then does something, you would not use ko. You would rather use a and or so. And you would only use ko with kada or oda when all the parts are following the same idea. So you want a list of people coming, but it's not like someone comes and then that leads to him doing something in that place. So in that case you would not use ko. Okay, I see. I think that is fine. Position verbs. There are also many did I say position verbs? I think so. There are also many position verbs that usually act differently than regular verbs. Not just in this situation, but in many situations. The most common of these are to sit, anta, stand, soda, and to lie down, nupta. Position verbs, okay. The reason that these are treated differently is because these are verbs of position. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's basically the sentence again. For example, if I just said, I ate and studied, 저는 먹고 공부했어요. I would like to hear some more, how do you say that? The stressing of the syllables in the pronunciation. For example, if I read this, let's do a little bigger sentence. Yeah, no, I don't have an example, never mind. But I want to know what syllables of this sentence are stressed. Or maybe there are no stressed syllables at all. But I'm not sure if I should say 저는 먹고 공부했어요. Or should I say like 저는 먹고 공부했어요. You know? But I don't think it's that's really the case in Korean at all. I think it's mostly just not stressed at all. You just say everything in a monotonous way. Yeah, nice. Kaya also confirming that Korean has no stress on any syllable. It should read as flat as possible. Okay, yeah, nice. Okay, that basically confirms my experience. Okay. In Poland, on Teachers' Day, teachers bring chocolate for students, and students give one flower as a whole class to each teacher. So that sounds like the students get more than the teachers overall. Yeah, but Flo is correct. In Germany, we don't have that. We completely don't have that. Students just hate their teachers. Okay. In that sentence, aside from the fact that one happened to after another, Mokda and Kongbuada have no relation to each other. Exactly. Yeah, that's true. The go in Mogo will naturally sound slightly harder, but that's natural. Mogo. Okay. 저는 눕고. Yeah, I always it's so hard for me to read because the main problem is after every word I have to like do a little break to think about the next one, to read it out and then say it. And my voice for some reason always goes up at the end of the previous syllable because I don't know, my voice goes up when I want to think about the next syllable I want to read. And that must sound super unnatural to a Korean. Oh man. But I can't not do it. Like it just comes out of my mouth and I can't stop it. Like my voice always goes up after every single word. It's not good. Chonon yeah, see, 저는, 저는, 저는 뭐고 공부했어요. Yeah, there was a go. Ah, it's so hard. But I think if I get more confident with reading and I can read better and better, it will decrease over time and I will be able to pronounce everything more flat, more flatly. More flat, more flatly? I don't know. Okay. So here's the next sentence. 저는 없고 책을 읽었어요. I laid down and ran read a book. As in I lied down, stood up again and read a book. Because they have no relation to each other, because it's a go. Yeah, nobody would ever do that. Instead, you want to say is you lie down and then while lie down to read the book. Yeah, you lie down to read the book, so they have a connection. In these situations with position verbs, the first action is related to the second action, similar to kada and oda. That is why they are treated differently. So what's the point here? So I want to have the sentence. So that's why you use a or so instead of go in these cases. Okay, okay. if this wasn't the like the damn. Wait, I'm thinking about the special word. I can't remember it. Con. It's incredible. Conclusion. Conclusion. That was the word I was looking for. The conclusion of this whole thing is you add our also. Yeah, sometimes I can't remember an English word. I've used it many times in the past, but sometimes I just have like a blackout and don't remember a single word. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, I let down and read a book with or saw in this case. Okay, nupta, irregular, b is removed, u is added, and then or saw is added. So this makes the meaning so that you lie down to read a book. So you read it lying down. Well, this one with the go is just completely separate action. You lie down and completely unrelated to that, after that you read a book. Okay. I'm going to sit down and relax. Yeah, I mean it's the same concept, right? With kada and oda. You go somewhere to do something and you sit down to do something, or you lie down to do something. You do this first action, you change your position to do something. And I mean, for me it's exactly the same. If I go to a place, I change my position to that place. And if I sit down, I also change my position from standing to sitting. So it's basically the same concept. And I would predict, or I assume that the next the same thing is applying to words that also change your position. For example, to travel. I travel to Korea to learn the culture. So I do the first action, I change my position, and then do the second action there, in that changed position. I think that would be the case as well. So if I say travel instead of kada, oda, or these position verbs you learned here, I think with travel it also applies, because it's also following the same concept. I hope. I hope. I hope it's not only sit, stand, lie, and kada, oda. But he's saying the most common ones, so there are definitely other ones. And I think travel is one of them, probably. Okay. Yeah, so far I think everything is pretty clear. The only thing that I might forget in the future, I think, is when to conjugate the first verb or adjective and when not to conjugate. So I mostly just not conjugate it, but in some cases you have to conjugate it. These two special situations where you would conjugate the first verb or adjective, I might forget that in the future. So that's the one thing so far from this lesson that I have the the lowest confidence in. Okay. Yeah, so we have the next chapter here. I want to. We briefly talked about that in the chat like 2 or 3 days ago, right? Goshipta. Yeah. Okay. So that should be not too hard. Yeah, this chapter is not super long either. So let's see. As said earlier, ko is an verb that can connect two clauses together. However, there are so many usages of ko combined with other words. What you're about to learn is so common, as confirmed from Flo in the chat here. I always want to apologize for waiting until lesson 17 to finally introduce it to you. I just felt that there were other things you needed to learn before this. Okay. Anyways, let's go into business. Adding koshipta. I feel like I also heard this before. Like when I listen to some Korean videos. You know I watch a lot of StarCraft videos as well, which are in Korean. I'm pretty sure I heard that before. It gives the meaning of I want to. Very easy to use. I want to study Korean. 저는 한국어를 배우고 싶어요. 배우고 싶어요.
저는 한국어를 배우고 싶어요.
Okay, my sound is not on my headset. 1 second. Okay.
저는 한국어를 배우고 싶어요.
Now it works.
저는 한국어를 배우고 싶어요.
배우고 싶어요. 배우고 싶어요. ship. 배우고 싶어요. 저는 한국어를 배우고 싶어요. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I will read this long sentence. Jonin. I can't stop it. Jonin 여자친구를 위해? Wait, what is 위해? I? 위해. For my girlfriend. With the benefit of, right? Let's see. Lesson 13. Do something for somebody. We have, yeah, here it is. Okay. For something. Okay. Okay, here we are again. 저는 여자친구를 위해 편지를 쓰고 싶어요.
저는 여자친구를 위해 편지를 쓰고 싶어요.
I want to buy a new car. 저는 새로운 차를 사고 싶어요. Okay, let's do the last one as well. 저는 방학 동안 책도 okay, it's this is a book counter. Okay, 2 books. Okay, 2 books. During vacation, 2 books. Okay. 저는 방학 동안 책 2권을 읽고 싶어요.
저는 방학 동안 책 2권을 읽고 싶어요.
But here you can, for example, let's listen to the pronunciation of the sentence, okay? In this case, for me, it's totally flat. Listen.
저는 여자친구를 위해 편지를 쓰고 싶어요.
Like it's very monotonous. Yeah, whatever. It's always very flat, the whole pronunciation. And in this case, there's a real big stressing on the check, in my opinion. So listen to it.
저는 방학 동안 책 2권을 읽고 싶어요.
Like it was like 동안 check 2권.
저는 방학 동안 책 2권을 읽고 싶어요.
Yeah, but okay. It can be used with 두에다 to indicate that you want to become something. I want to become a teacher. 전인 선생님이 되고 싶어요. 되고 싶어요.
저는 선생님이 되고 싶어요. 저는 선생님이 되고 싶어요. 저는 선생님이 되고 싶어요.
Wow, it's so fast.
저는 선생님이 되고 싶어요.
I cannot understand this part.
저는 선생님이 되고 싶어요. 저는 선생님이 되고 싶어요.
되고, I think 되고.
저는 선생님이 되고 싶어요.
Wow, it's super fast. Okay. Can be used in the past tense as well. I want to become a teacher. 저는 선생님이 되고 싶었어요.
저는 선생님이 되고 싶었어요. 저는 선생님이 되고 싶었어요.
Sounds like to a bit. Toy. It might sound strange, but I noticed that Korean girls sometimes make the j or ch sound very high for no reason. Okay.
그 여자는 나랑 결혼하고 싶었어.
I guess when it's in the beginning of the word, especially, right? Because here, for example, it's like in the middle, the ja, and here I don't hear it.
그 여자는 나랑 결혼하고 싶었어.
Here we have a chingu. Let's see.
저는 친구를 보고 싶어요.
Yeah, here it was kind of the case.
저는 친구를 보고 싶어요.
저는 친구를. Okay. Notice then when talking about marrying something, with must be used in Korean instead of attaching. Ah, okay. 나랑. Me. With me. Okay. That girl with me. 결혼하고 싶었어요. 싶었어. Okay, that girl wanted to marry with me. Okay, I see. I want to marry with you. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, you have come across this go shipda grammar concept before. Okay, before I continue to read, let me think for myself. Have I come across this grammar? Yeah. Maybe for the future form, I will, where you add the R and then koyeyo. But not, I don't remember any other stuff. But you probably didn't even realize it. In Korean, there are two ways to say I miss. One way is to use the word 그립다, and is used when you miss something other than a person. Ah, okay, 그립다 for objects, okay. The word for missing a person is 보고 싶다. Yeah, I have not come across that before. I want to see. But then again, wait, there was something like that in the last like exercise or so, right? I remember. I think this was actually the situation in the exercise where this po shipda, where some of you guys, probably I think Flo, told me about that the first time, like a week ago or so, or maybe 5 days ago or so. But before that, I have not come across it, I have to say. Yeah, there was some exercise where it's about missing. I miss something. I miss a person. Yeah, we talked about that a few days ago. Or maybe a week ago. I'm not sure anymore. Okay, anyways. See something funny about that word? No. Nothing funny about that. 보고 싶다. I want to see. Yep. I want to see my friend. I miss my friend. Okay. 저는 친구를 보고 싶어요. 저는 친구를 보고 싶어요. 저는 친구를 보고 싶어요.
저는 친구를 보고 싶어요.
보고 싶다 is not used with adjectives. Okay, let me think about how I would use it with adjective. I want to be strong. I want to be smart. Yeah, that's totally valid in English. Okay, so that's not used in Korean. Okay, in English it is susceptible to say something, I want to be happy. If you want to say something like this in Korean, you need to add additional grammatical principle that changes the meaning of I want to become. That change the meaning to I want to become happy. You will learn how to create this in the next lesson. Okay, with a or ojida. Ajida. Okay. What was the G? Wasn't that like the alternative way to negate something? think so. But just the G. Where do we have negative? Gianta. Yeah, okay, that's the one I meant. Yeah, okay. Gianta. Okay, so we learn that in the next lesson. To want an adjective. Okay. One thing to notice that shipta actually acts as an adjective and must be conjugated as one. Okay. This means that I want to eat. Nanin mogu shipta. I want to eat would be correct conjugation. However, mogu shipnenda would be incorrect conjugation. Okay, we go back to lesson 5. Lesson 6 actually. We look for our tables. Adjectives. Present plain form. Okay. Future tense, past tense, present tense verbs. No table. Okay, we have the verbs. Okay. Mokninda. Mokninda. So this is a verb conjugation for the present plain form. And an adjective conjugation for the present plain form is just the dictionary form itself. Yeah, I'm never using plain form anyways. And I think there are no other differences, right? Yeah, okay. Also notice the difference between wanhada. Yeah, wanhada, to want. So this is used for nouns, right? And pukshita, you can say wanhada when you want an object. Yeah, okay, for nouns, that's what I mean. What is if I want a person? I want your daughter. Okay, so this is the one you use when you say I want to do something with your daughter. Will not go into detail here. And here wanhada to if you want an object, but what is if you want a person? For example, let's say you are like a football team manager and you say, hey, I want a player. I want this player in my team. I want him. So that's a normal way, right? To say that. It could be a common sentence for a sports manager talking about his players in the next season also. I want Ronaldo, whatever. Which one? You would probably use this one, right? Anyways, even if he is saying you only use it when you want an object, you would probably use it in this as well for a person. Maybe one of you knows, but it's not specified here. You can also use an or attach Gianta. Ah, there we have it. See, I just needed to read like one screen further, and then I would have known to indicate that one does not want to do something. I do not want to drink alcohol. Chonin suril an mashigo shippoyo. Okay. I think, yeah, okay. So it's important that it's here and that it's not like here, right? Not between this. So it's not before the shippoyo, it's before the initial verb that you want. You can, but you need to be careful because if used with people, it has sexual. Okay, well. So I guess that I want your daughter is a very dangerous thing to say to a Korean father, probably. It sounds too direct. It's very rare. Wanada is actually used at all. Okay. But that sports manager example that I did was should be like it has a place to exist, right? In a normal way. The sports manager, I want Ronaldo next season. Should be a totally normal sentence. Or let's say you're playing a game and you say you're playing, I don't know, League of Legends or whatever, and you say you want a certain hero. They all have names. I have no idea. I have briefly played Dota. Let's say Lycan. Lycan is a hero there in Dota. I want Lycan next game. Lycan is like the name of the person, of the hero. I think there are definitely cases where you say I want person. I want to have that book would be more common than that sentence they put there. Kuchegu Kaji go shippo. I want to have that book. Kajida, I want to, yeah, okay. Kajida, to own, to possess. I want to own that book. Okay. So I guess that's what you would use for the persons as well. I want to own. I guess in this example where you, yeah, I guess in the game example, for example, a Dota hero, you would just use I want to play with that hero next game. And in the sports manager example, yeah, I want to own or possess Kajida Ronaldo on my team next season. Yeah, okay. Okay then, I think enough about that topic. Thank you for your input. And Flo, I have not said anything about my intention. I had no intention. I'm just trying to learn Korean here. I'm not sure what you are thinking about, but let's continue. Sometimes you will learn grammatical principles that are not used so much, but the concepts you learned in this lesson are used all the time. Okay, so this lesson, very important, saved in my head. Up until now, actually, it has been hard for me to continue to create good example sentence without the use of ko or koshipta. The further and further along you go in these lessons, the more complicated the example sentences will become. Before you move to the next lesson, I would like to continue the discussion from lesson 2 about iga or ninda, nin-in. Okay, so now we learn about this. Let's see. This is also the last chapter for this lesson, okay? And we will do that tomorrow because we are at the end for today. By the way, you might have noticed it's Sunday. The last Sundays, I always had a clan war, and my clan admin always came in and said, "Hey, you have a clan war, come on," because I always kind of forgot. But the season is over actually. It will take a few weeks, like maybe 2 months or so, until the next season starts. So in the next few weeks on Sunday, I have no pressure to really end the lesson at 7 p.m. So that's why it's a bit later here, and nobody came in my chat and told me to come online at StarCraft. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll start here. I think most of the things in this lesson are not too hard, so I guess that's one of the easier lessons compared to the last or the previous like 4 to 5 lessons. So that's good. I'm looking forward to the practice videos. Okay, and with that, thank you guys for watching and participating as always. So bye bye and annyeong.